Hey there neighbors, Kevin here with eTrailer, and today we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the replacement hasp for polar cam action latches. So our neighbor came to us today from the local high school here in Wentzville, Missouri, and this is their band trailer. They've been running into some issues with people trying to break in and steal their equipment, so they came to us in need of a little bit more security. And that's where our latch came into play here today. This is going to give them a nice steel construction with an easy to use latch that you can pop in a nice heavy duty padlock, so that way you can make sure none of the band equipment potentially goes missing just because you have your trailer parked and no one's around. Installation of the hasp is going to be super simple. It's only 2 bolt holes that you're going to be drilling in here, so the key here is just making sure that it's going to match up with the lever, and what we're looking for is the small indentation spot right here where it's nice and flat, and that's what's going to line up here. Once you know exactly where that's going to sit, you can then just take a level, make sure you got this nice and straight on here, and then you can drill your 2 holes. And what I did on the back side was just throw a little bit of butyl tape in there. You can see it kind of poking out on the sides there, and what that does is gives us a nice seal, so that way we don't have to worry about water getting in there. Overall, super simple, easy install. So this is something you could definitely do yourself, but I do know that we don't always have time to get everything done. So if you are in that boat and you need someone to get this latch on here ASAP, then please feel free to use our dealer locator. You can enter in your zip code and find a shop near you to get it professionally installed. If you're wanting to do this yourself and just need a couple of tips on how to do it, stick around and I'll walk you through the process. All right, to begin our installation for our latch here, we're already going to need to have our actual pipe mount latch here in place already, and then once we have that, we can then figure out exactly where we want to mount this up. Now if we look at our handle, there's going to be a little crease, and then we got another bend out here, and this flat part right here is right where we want that to match up with our latch. So I've got a piece of painter's tape, the length of my bracket here, and what I'm going to do is put that right there, and then we can mark out our location for our holes. So you also want to have a marker with you or a pencil or something. And I liked personally to keep everything nice and level. So right about there. Which actually no, this needs to come in more. All right. So I got 2 spots marked out. I'm actually just going to go with the top one first just to make sure, just because it was a little bit away. With this style of latch, it pushes in on the door and our door sits just slightly out. Now our brackets accommodate for part of that, but the whole point of this door is that it seals up, or the latch, sorry, seals up the door itself. So this is going to be kind of pushing on that. So as we put our handle in, we'll have to also kind of pry in on that. And that's what keeps it closed. So I'm going to mark out this first one. Double check that we don't have anything on the other side of the door that might need to be moved. So looks like the handle on our door latch might end up interfering with that. Now we're going to drill through. And I'm going to set my hardware in there with my latch so that I can get that second hole perfect. Now this is not going to come with any hardware. You will have to source that yourself. In our case today, I'm using some 8mm carriage bolts, and those are fitting right in. The head on our carriage bolt, the square part of it, is fitting pretty nicely with the square holes that we have in here. I originally was expecting to put something a little bit thicker in there, but this is the only thing that I had on hand that would actually work for us today. So after that, we're going to go ahead, we're going to put some butyl tape on the back of this, and that is going to help seal up these 2 holes here, so that way when we put our hardware through, we've got a little bit of protection to help prevent water from leaking into the wall. So I'm going to get that on right now. All right, now we'll slot our bolts back in. And then on the inside, like I said, we've got some flat washers. You can see some of that butyl tape already sticking on here. And then our nylock nut. Now you can see that butyl tape just smushed all out around there, giving us that protection. We can get rid of any excess. Now one other extra step you could do, just take some non-sag sealant and put it over the top of that bolt. That way you're kind of protecting it from any water getting in behind it, just like our butyl tape is. And then a lot of people also kind of just go around the bracket itself just to kind of give that extra protection and really seal it up. Well, that's going to do it for our look at and installation of the replacement hasp for Polar cam action latches here on our enclosed trailer. My name's Kevin, and if you still had some questions about what's going to be the right replacement hasp, or you're trying to look for a kit where it's going to have both the lever and the hasp, then please feel free to reach out to us via our Ask the Experts link, a comment on this video, or a phone call to our customer service department, and we'd be happy to help you out on your journey.